was last week.
I don't see how you remember all that stuff.
All right.
The new
Hey, we are live here at Eastern High School. We have a fantastic pregame show that's getting ready to kick off, guys. Brought to you by River City Sports Media. Make sure you go to our social, RCSM740. Make sure you like, share, and follow us. We're here at Eastern High School, guys. We got another huge game here in Southern Ohio. Two undefeated teams. We have Symmes Valley taking on the Eastern Eagles. So we're going to start off first. To my left right here, we got Johnny on the spot with us right here for the pregame show. To my far right, we got Pickham and Hidham Hines. And then, of course, our special guest tonight, Ethan Leist, the boys basketball coach here at Eastern High School. Coach, we appreciate the opportunity. You come and meeting with us. Give us a little bit of your time tonight before the pregame show. Help us out with the pregame show. Of course, it's always nice to do it here back at your alma mater and so forth. So just to give you guys a little bit of history about Coach Leist here, 2017 graduate from Eastern High School. He went to play his college basketball career. He started at Cedarville University, ended up transferring to Kentucky Christian. Once he finished up at Kentucky Christian, he became a graduate assistant coach, JV coach there at KCU. For a couple years, he was at Russell, and then there it took you some time, but you finally made it back home to your alma mater here at Eastern. So what's it like to be back home and coaching? Because I feel that it's always anybody gets into coaching, whether it's high school or whatever, even college, if they went there, at some point they want to get back to their alma mater and kind of give back to where they came from.
Yeah, absolutely. I was blessed to have the opportunity to play ball in college and to meet a lot of great basketball people. So that was a good experience for me. Had the opportunity to connect with some people down in Kentucky and worked there right out of college at Russell. And, just the opportunity came open to come back here, kind of prayed about it with my wife. And we believe that's where God was leading us. And we've been blessed since we've been here. We've had good success, worked with the football program, which is big. They've had success. We've had success. I believe that goes hand in hand. We got good kids here, good families, good people. And right now, tonight you talk about a big rivalry game. We'll talk about it more. We got the Beaver Oktoberfest going on this weekend. We got a big rivalry here, Eagles and Vikings. As far as I'm concerned, there's no better place to be right now than Beaver, Ohio.
I would agree with you for sure. A lot going on here in Beaver. Friday Night Lights is going on. You got the festival that's going on. Johnny, you want to start us off? You got a few questions for Coach?
Yeah, I guess my big question is, you got a nice resume that showing that you've got to see both sides of the coaching phase of in college and in the high school. Not a lot of people we've had so far has had that experience. So I guess my question is going to be is, what do you think the difference is coaching college kids to high school, and then what kind of talent developments do you have to do in the difference in college and high school also?
That's a great question. When I was at KCU, I played basketball there, had a decent career there, and then when I was finished playing, decided to ask and see if I could get on the staff as a student assistant. And I was able to do that, and then about halfway through the season, they asked me if I would coach the JV team. And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, it'll be great, great experience, great. So I was driving the mini bus to away games, all that stuff, and it was a great experience. But
paying your dues.
Yeah. Probably the biggest thing that I took from that and learned from that is, college, it's a much different ballgame. You got all the recruiting side of it, and the skill development stuff. You're not really going to change a guy's shot when he's in college. You can get reps with him. It's a lot of rep stuff. It's a lot of, getting in the gym every day with them and just kind of sharpening their game. But as far as like building somebody's shot, working on the basic building blocks, they've already got that when they get in college.
You're just fine tuning them, right?
So you're fine tuning them, and a big part of this is the recruiting. And for me, I love high school because I feel like there's a purity to it. Each year, you're given your roster, and you've got to figure it out. Yeah. You have to be flexible. Last year we had a team that could get up and down a little bit. We played fast a lot. And I believe you still have to be able to do a little bit of both. But you take the personnel you have, and it's not that you change your philosophy or your scheme every year, but you can adjust it a little bit. I think you have to be flexible and adjust it because, from year to year, if we want to play fast and get up and down and press one year, the next year we may not have the personnel to do that.
Yep.
So you have to be a little bit more flexible. But to me, there's a purity to it because you really have to build relationships with the guys you have. You don't get to go out and hand pick them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's something I've learned just in my few years is it's really just about building relationships with the kids, getting them to trust you, and teaching the game. Worry about wins and losses. That's secondary.
Yeah.
Primary is building relationships with them. So that's probably the biggest thing I've
Get them
learned.
to buy into the culture that you want to set, right?
And like you said, high school, they're still trying to find out where they play well at and everything in college. By the time you make it there, they should already kind of know the position that they're good at.
That's correct. Yep.
So, I would agree. A mistake that I see with high school coaches a lot of times, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, is some coaches are dead set. This is the offense and or defense I'm going to run. Not every kid fits that scheme, and I see some high school coaches trying to force those kids to fit in them schemes where it ends up hurting them more than it helps them.
Yeah, and it's to be honest with you, that's probably the easier way to do it. But what I think is to be successful and sustain it over time, it's going to take some extra effort. You've got to be willing to be flexible. You've got to be willing to evolve a little bit and learn different styles of play. And look, believe me, I'm not perfect at it at all. But I think each year, I learn a little bit more. And I think that's the mentality you have to have as a coach. Is just being a lifelong learner. Every year, I want to get a little bit better at this. You know what I mean?
Sounds good.
So we get Hines. What do you got for coach?
We were talking a little bit earlier before the show. You said having the support of the community, the football, the basketball, everything works together here. How important? How much easier does that make your job? Having support of the football team, the community, and everything. Does that make your job a lot easier?
Oh, yeah, believe me. I've made mistakes. Believe me, I'm a young guy. They took a chance on a young guy, and I told them I don't know everything right now, but one of the things I knew when they hired me was that I wanted to work with the football program because we're a small school and we have to share athletes. Yep. That's just the way it is. And I've seen not here, but I've seen many different places the football coach and the basketball coach butt heads. Yep. You name the sports. And you're not always going to agree on everything. But, if you have a mindset of we're in it together, and I want the football team to win. Coach Thomason, he wants us to do well in basketball. He's pretty open about that. And that's the way it has to be because if we're fighting over athletes, these are kids. We just want them to be successful.
Yeah.
And you have to put your ego to the side. It's not easy to do. Believe me, it's not easy to do because right now we're having our fall workouts and I don't have that many guys there because they're out here.
Yeah.
But the reality is that what I told him earlier, I want the football team to do well, even selfishly, because that success that they have and the confidence that they build out here, it translates over.
Yeah,
just like the season we had in basketball, I believe, translates on the football team.
So absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
You have to be able to put your pride to the side. Believe me, because it's human nature to say, I want 15, 20 guys at my fall workouts. But you have to be able to put that to the side and say, they're out here, they're getting stronger, they're gaining confidence. When it's time for basketball season to roll around, they'll be there.
I think there's some local schools that could adapt that mentality, and that would help.
I agree.
100%.
I agree.
Help out.
I've seen it over the years, as you referenced. Head coaches butting heads. I want this kid at my weight room. I want this kid at my open gym. I want this kid at my hitting and fielding, whatever. They kind of lose track of it. These are kids, and they only have so much time in a day, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. Unfortunately, where we are at in our location, our geographical location, Southern Ohio, we aren't having the schools that have kids who are specialty kids who say, I'm a basketball player, I'm a soccer player, and then I'm going to play a second sport just for funsies because my buddies do it. Yeah. All the schools in our area have to have those kids who are dedicated to play 2 to 3 sports, or be dedicated to those sports, and putting 100% into effort into their sports when they're playing it. And it does make it hard in the off season, but I do know the kids, whether it's Eastern, I got a lot of respect for Coach Thomason. He coaches some younger kids in basketball as they came through school. I coached against him with my youngest son. I know that effort's being put in. The success that's going on at Eastern right now, you can't tell me that effort's not being put in the off season with the success you have. And
kind of just one note before you move on.
No,
one note about Scott. I played for Scott. I don't know, many people may not know that. I played for him in baseball first. Then I played for him in basketball. Then I played for him. He started football with my group. Yes. So I played quarterback on the first ever team for him.
That was my next point I was going to bring up.
Scott and here's the thing. This is what I love about him. When he started coaching me, I was younger. He's intense. He's an intense guy. I was like 12 years old. I was scared to death of him. I said, I don't want to play for him anymore.
He played at West Virginia. He's not a small guy.
But you know what happened is, over time, I started to realize this guy's intense because he wants to win just as much as I do.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, I don't want to play for anybody else. And so, over the years, it's like I've seen that. I played when I was here. I played at one point or another. I played every sport.
Yeah.
I encourage the guys to play every sport, every sport they want to. You know what I mean? And I think Scott has that same mentality. He and I, we don't agree on everything. We have disagreements here and there. But guess what? We talk it out. We respect each other, and I think that's the way it has to be.
That goes along.
100%.
100%.
And you brought it up. I got in my notes. I was pretty confident you were when Coach Tomlinson and the football program started here, that you were the first varsity quarterback to come through this system out here, for sure. So kind of reference back to
build it from the ground up,
and they really did, because I know are those still the original field goal posts?
Yeah.
So I know where those came from.
Yeah.
Those come from down the road from Willersburg.
Yep, that's
where those are donated.
I remember
from.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
So Willersburg was remodeling their stadium. Eastern was starting. There were some dads that worked at the A plant together and got to talking, and Willersburg said, "Hey, listen, we're redoing our field. Let's give you guys these to help you out."
Speaking of Willersburg, can I change topic? Are you how many coaches at Eastern in basketball have beat Willersburg?
You know what? I don't know.
Because I was there last year. That was that's when I was like, damn, Eastern's looked pretty good that night.
Yeah.
I will say, Willersburg is like kind of what we look to as the example. Yeah, they're one of those schools we look to them as an example. Like, they do it right. The athletic programs, they're all successful. You say, how? And Scott and I have talked about this before. How do they do that? And I think we're not as big of a school, but I think we try to follow in that. It's like, I want football to be successful. I want baseball to be successful because it translates.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
What you're doing.
So I can tell you what happens up there is this. It all starts at a young age.
Yeah.
At Willersburg, it's instilled in you, whether it's your first day of kindergarten, first day of third grade, or you walk in there as a senior, it's your first year. It is you piss excellence at all costs.
It sounds like they're adopting that.
We just talked about this on the last last one we had.
And I think that's not. And I'm not saying. I mean, I was a Willersburg guy. My two oldest kids were Willersburg guy. My youngest one went to South Webster. Played against you the last couple of years out here. Went to South Webster to play basketball. That is for years is what's kind of separated. I think they have laid down a very good footprint of how to be successful and set a certain culture.
Yeah, your question about beating Willersburg is undeniably a great program. I think that one of the biggest challenges I had when I first got here was we had been playing in the conference. You remember the period of time where we played in the big SEC?
Yes.
Yep.
And there had become this mentality here that, well, we can't beat them. It's Willersburg. You know what I mean? And
it's the brand on the shirt.
And I think since I've been here, we've been fortunate enough to we beat them. My first year at home, and then we beat them at Willersburg, which is like almost impossible to do.
Yeah, you got 2 wins.
You see that it's a result of, and it's not anything I've done. Believe me, it's a result. It's a result of. All I did was just talk to the kids like, we've got to believe that we can compete with anybody.
That's a big factor, though. Believing.
Why can't we? Why not us?
Why
can't we? And I think that was one of the biggest challenges, was like getting them to believe that we belong here. We can compete with these guys. Mm-hmm. And it's because of the work that we put in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, we're going to wish on a star that it'll happen. I mean, no, we put in the work and we believe that it's going to pay off.
But mentality is a big thing in any sport you play. If you go into a game already thinking that you're going to lose, you're not going to play at your best ability.
Right.
And like I said, we talked about the other day, that Willersburg Ironton game. Them guys went in there knowing that this is our game. We're going to play our hardest. We're going, even if no matter what that scoreboard says in the day, we know we put it all on the field. And you know what? They came out and they opened a lot of people's eyes that day and took down one of the biggest schools right now in Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people told them that they were the underdogs.
Yeah.
Ironton's Ironton for a reason, and Willersburg's Willersburg for a reason. To me, I looked at that and I said, it's pretty awesome to see the communities come together. Whoever wins the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see high school kids celebrated in that way for their talents. I mean, they're special athletes.
Exactly.
Special athletes. Even since, I graduated in 2017. The stuff that some of these guys can do is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I just think it should be celebrated. And I think that's probably what you guys do. That's what you guys do best, is celebrate what these guys do on the field.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Coach, talk about you just finished up, I believe, your 4th year here at Eastern as head coach, right?
This will be my 4th.
This will be going into your 4th year, all right? So kind of looking at a few things here, going into your 4th year, I believe, and I might be wrong, you got your record of 49-25?
Yeah, that's correct, I believe.
49-25 in your 4 years here, won a sectional title twice, district championship one time. and also won the conference. Is that correct? In your 4 year, as in your career since you've been here, I know for a long time here at Eastern, Eastern was a basketball school because they didn't have football, right? How much of that plays into the factor for you to kind of keep that tradition of Eastern? Obviously, you've talked about you want Coach Thomason to have the success in basketball, but how important it is for you as well, and as it is with any head coach, but kind of looking back at those guys that played long before you did, the Kokenhauers, the Dennis Kings, and those guys, right, to come through the system, kind of give them something to look back and be proud of what Eastern basketball is.
So I wasn't around for some of those guys you mentioned, but
I'm older.
Trust me, I've heard about them. Like growing up here, I've heard about them.
Yeah.
And when I was young, my dream was to play for the Eastern Eagles. Like that was to play basketball for the Eastern Eagles. And so that was kind of instilled in me from a young age. And this program and this school means so much to me. And the reality is, I don't care if Eastern is talked about as a football school, basketball school. It really doesn't matter to me. I just want us, and I think Coach Thomason would say the same thing. I want us to be talked about as winners.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing. And not just on the court, not just on the field, but we want to prepare these guys, young men and young ladies, to be successful in life. That's the number one goal.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I care deeply about that because I love this community.
Unfortunately, not everybody gets the opportunity to go play a sport at the next level, college. A lot of them are going into the workforce right after this. So, I had a coach who was the same way. What are you going to do to contribute to society when you're done with high school?
Yeah,
and that's more important than the wins and losses and what you accomplish in high school. So I'd agree with that. Guys, let's get into the picks we got this week. So, first pick I have, we got Vanderbilt at Alabama. Johnny, who do you got?
Man, I can't wait for this game personally because I think Vanderbilt, man, I really want to see them. They're kind of coming in as the underdog, but, man, they've been playing kind of like what we're talking about, the mentality they've been coming in each game. Why not us? Yeah, and it's in here. Even their quarterback, the confidence he brings, you can just tell it radiates off of him in the field. So give me Vanderbilt beating Alabama this week. I see it coming.
All right, Hines.
Bama with a big win last week. I think they find a way to win, but I hope it's not by less than 11.5 points.
Coach, what's the spread on this game? Do you know?
11.5.
11.5? Yeah. My heart wants to say Vanderbilt because I love a good upset. And obviously, as an Ohio State fan, I like to see Alabama go down. Having Vanderbilt beat them last year, right? With that in mind, I think Bama's starting to figure it out. I think the talk about the coach, about them not being tough enough, all that. I think they're figuring out. I think Bama wins, but I think it might be a close game.
I think it's a close game. I'm going to go with Vanderbilt by a field goal at the end of the game. I do. I think they play it really close, keep it tight, and get a field goal opportunity at the end and pull it out. Next game, Miami at Florida State. Johnny?
You got one of our owners here, used to be a Miami fan. I remember going back in his room back in the day. He had his own helmet up there, the Miami U. You walk around with the whole U going around.
Radar was all about the
he was all about the U. Now he's all about the O. So it changed a little bit. He didn't go up the alphabet that much. He just stayed around the same. But, there it is. But, I think Miami's they've been playing really good football. And Florida State started off strong, and they kind of been having some trouble. But I have Miami coming in this one. I got Miami winning it. Hines?
I actually like Florida State, and they're home. They just had a bad loss to Virginia last week. I think they regroup and find a way to win.
Coach?
Well, this is a tough one. I think Miami's a really good team. And I've watched, I think I've watched all their games so far, at least some of it. This is their first road game. Mm-hmm. And I think Tallahassee, that stadium, it's always loud. They got the chants going. That's a tough place to win. So give me Florida State at home.
I'm going to take Miami. They're not the U by no means. They're not the U of the day. I think they're getting back on the right track of becoming the next generation U. So I'm going with the U. West at Valley tonight, Johnny.
Well, I graduated from West, man, and again, Brady Hall, man, very underlooked this year just because the record does not reflect how he's been playing. I think, just like I said, I know I say it every week, but if he gets warm, I think it's going to be a long day. I think you're going to see a high-scoring game with West winning big. But if he doesn't get warm and they can't get the run game established, it might be a close one. But I got West.
Man, that's a tough one. I think that's a coin flip game. McNeil's dealing with an injury, I think. Yep. I think he picked up an injury, and is he playing tonight?
As far as I know.
I think he is playing, a little banged up. I think Valley finds a way to win. Again, we've said it. Crabtree does a good job down there. I think he finds a way to get it done.
I don't watch a ton of high school. I'll be honest. I haven't watched a ton, but I have somebody who does, a friend of mine. I think high school football is about who can establish the run,
Correct.
right, and who can shut down the run, right? I mean, to me, that's what kind of, different people could throw, but establishing the run, that's what gets your pass game going. I think Valley at home. I think it's probably a pick 'em, but I got Valley at home.
Okay.
I'm going to go with West. I really am. I a lot of respect for both Coach Gillum, Coach Crabtree. I just think West is on a little bit of a roll right now after last week. Valley's still trying to, I think, figure some things out.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point of the season, you got to get it figured out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with West. We've got Memphis at Waverly tonight.
Man, this one's kind of hard. They've both been kind of a rut here lately, but they both have some key players on. I mean, I looked up the stats. You wouldn't believe it, but Memphis quarterback's the only quarterback with over 1,000 passing yards this year.
Yeah.
I believe it was like around 1,200.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's good. He's good.
and again, we're overlooking because of records instead of looking at these kids as what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Memphis comes out, and I think they finally get it together to pull out the dub, and this might spark something inside them to finish this year out. So I got Memphis on that one.
Hines.
Yeah, that's again another tough one. Waverly's had a tough year, I know, but it's at Waverly.
Hasn't won a game yet this year. I don't know what's going on in Waverly. Too big of a school and tradition to be honestly.
Medford has some really talented athletes.
They do.
Yeah.
I know they have some injuries right now, but I watched
they do
the
have some
Medford
good
Eastern
athletes.
game.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
High scoring game.
Those guys are athletes.
Had over 400 passing yards that game.
Unbelievable.
Correct. So I'm going with Memphis on the road at Waverly. They get to win in Tiger Town tonight. So we got Portsmouth at Fairland, Johnny.
I was lucky to watch both these guys play West. They both played them tough, both played them close. But you're going to Fairland. And if you ever played at Fairland, Portsmouth plays on turf, Fairland's field. It's a little rough at this time of the season. So I think Fairland's used to that, and they're going to take it. And I think Portsmouth's going to have a tough time against Fairland. I really do. I think they got a dominant run game. So I'm going to go with Fairland.
I think that's a big home field advantage. I think Fairland probably finds a way to get it done tonight.
Coach?
We played Portsmouth this year in basketball. I don't want to give them any bulletin board material, so give me the Trojans.
All right, I'm going with the Trojans. I'm going to go with Trojans as well. I like Coach Cobb. I like some things that Coach Cobb's doing there. I think it's really, really doing a good job. Again, some young kids trying to get some things figured out. But I'm going to go with the Trojans on the road at Fairland. That's for sure. Of course, again, we're here tonight. We're at Eastern. We're here at Eastern tonight. 2 undefeated teams. Eastern Eagles, they are hosting the Symmes Valley Vikings. Big conference game tonight. A lot of things on the line. You're looking at this point of the season, playoff appearances, points, where you would have finished up in the region. You want to be in that top half of that region to get that first couple of home games, obviously, is what you're really striving and looking for. So tonight, Johnny, who do you got?
Well, before the game, I talked to one of the Eastern guys down here, and they were saying it's a 3-way tie right now. You got Eastern, Symmes Valley, and then you have Notre Dame. Now, I know next week you guys go play Notre Dame, so if you win this and they win, then there's the tiebreaker. So you know what? I think Eastern's on a high right now. I think that they're feeling good, the mentality. I think the confidence is there. Give me the Eagles, man, to soar through this game tonight, and they're going to take it. They're going to take it down. I'll take Eastern in this one.
Man, battle of the undefeated. Eastern's got a good crowd out here already. I don't know, man. Like Coach was talking about, the community buys in, everyone buys in. I think they find a way to win tonight at home.
It's a huge game. Big conference game. We got the Oktoberfest. We call it the Oktoberfest Bowl. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest games we've hosted here. But you know what? Symmes Valley's really good. They're good. I mean, this is no slouch. They've had a great season. We've won a lot of games in a row. You wonder, are we due to drop one? I'm from Eastern, but you know what? Give me the Eagles.
Go with the Eagles.
The Eagles. Here we go.
I like it. I don't really think you have much of a choice. I don't think you could. If you want to keep your job, you probably can't go with Symmes Valley.
I'll say this, man.
That would be wild.
In all seriousness,
that would be some Pat McAfee stuff right there.
Yeah.
We got we got Eric Manley at quarterback. You don't see many guys. I mean, he's kind of just a freak athlete. You don't see many guys like that. We're great up front. That's the thing to me that separates us.
That goes a long way.
Brewer Thomason, Cade Leist. We got some big size up front. Jack Montgomery running the ball. I talked about establishing the run. How good are you at winning the line of scrimmage? That's what this game will come down to, and I'm confident in our guys to get the job done.
Yeah. Coach, that's a great pick. Two undefeated teams, big night, a lot of implications on the line. I think the kids from Symmes Valley just have a little bit of rough neck, that backroads country feeling. There's just no good way to get to Symmes Valley, and I feel that Symmes Valley feels they get disrespected a lot because of their location. But I'm not going to be able to go against Coach Thomason tonight. I'm going with the Eagles.
All right.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Go Eagles.
There you go, baby.
All right.
So there's our picks. Tonight's pregame show brought to you by River City Sports Media. We couldn't do this without any of our sponsors, guys. So a huge shout out to our sponsors. We have the Portsmouth Brewing Company, Next Level, CrossFit, the UPS store in Portsmouth, the Portsmouth Brewing Company, the Scioto River, AB Photography. Without those sponsors, guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. Coach, we appreciate your time. Guys, follow us on social media, RCSM740. Again, shout out to our sponsors. Coach, it was a pleasure to have you on here tonight. Good luck in basketball season.
And we also want to say big help from Brace Yourself Orthodontics, one of our really good sponsors with us. Be looking out for the Sports Athlete of the Week, brought to you by them, and check us out.
Thanks for picking up. My phone is locked out, so that's why
You're good.
Yes. Clark Delabar, Brace Yourself Orthodontics, 2 locations, New Boston, Ashton. If your grill's messed up, go get your grill fixed at Brace Yourself.
That's right. That's right.
So, again, Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck to you in basketball season this year. I look forward to being a very competitive conference in basketball this year.
It will be.
Obviously. So,
come out to some basketball games.
You would definitely see us at basketball games as well. So, live tonight, if you ain't got nothing to do, you want to see a great ball game, get here to Eastern. 2 undefeated teams, conference play on the line, looking for points for the playoffs. Tonight's pregame show brought to you by River City Sports Media. Thank you for showing up and thank you for showing out. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, thank you guys. Man.
Hey, man.